Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the VR Link. My name's GT from Gamertag VR. To my left is South to catch up, and to my right is Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today. Let me get in the chat. It's weird because I'm so used to hearing everyone in my head, like in the speech chat. We've got DJ.
Hearing other voices in your head.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, if that happens, I will get myself.
I had to go for that one. I'd have to go. Had to go for that one. I have the same problem.
Hello, Madman. How's it going? Stream Elements is still telling everyone that I'm playing Firewall. It doesn't matter how many times I update that. It is not true. I'm not playing Firewall. Hello, Toad. How's it going? Nice. Hello, Fez. Popcorn at the ready. Oh yeah, man. I love popcorn. What you got for sweet and salty? What you prefer, boys?
Oh, I've got Kit Kats.
What are they?
Kit Kats ready.
What are they?
Quick Kit Kats. They're like little Kit Kats. You go boom, boom, boom.
What flavours though? That's what I mean.
Oh, what flavours? We got hazelnut, salted caramel, and double chocolate.
I thought I saw green, dude. I thought it was mint. I thought it was mint in there. Is that the hazelnut?
The green is the hazelnut.
Ah, gotcha. Who else we got? Hello, Leo. How's it going? Thanks for joining, man. Really appreciate it. Hey, sweet all day long. See, I go sweet and salty when I go to the cinema. I used to be all sweet, but I think now I'm maturing. I'm adding a bit of salt in there. I don't know.
Toffee popcorn. That'd do me.
Toffee popcorn. So, guys, what you've been playing this week, and everyone in the chat, if you can let us know what you've been playing this week, that'd be much appreciated. So I'll let you start, Nat.
Well, except this morning I played Torn. As I say, we've had a load of work done here at the house, and literally I had to disconnect my PlayStation VR, and I had no room to play the Oculus Quest until pretty much late last night, and I was too tired by then to play any bloody thing. So I played about 2 hours of Torn. Really impressed with that.
Yeah.
Visuals hit and miss at times. There's bits where it looks amazing. There's bits where it looks awful. But I do like the fact that it combines a really strong narrative along with the puzzles. So I've been enjoying playing that.
It's funny you should say it about Torn, because you're right. There is moments in that game. I remember on PlayStation, I was like, this looks incredible. You know what I mean? And as you play it, there'll be parts in there as well. Like in the trailer, you'll see the bit with the statue and the leaves go around it and stuff. When you go into that room in the house, I'm like, wow, this looks amazing. But yeah, I know what you're saying. There's yeah, it's weird like that. I really like Torn personally. I really enjoy playing it. What about you, Sals?
Let's see. I've been playing Waltz of the Wizard, the extended edition, at the beginning of the week.
So what format's that on, Dave? What is it?
That is on Steam and Oculus, basically PC based.
Yeah.
It's an experience. I mean, Waltz of the Wizard was originally one of the real early experiences, so it really was one of the starter experiences. And now they've done an extended edition, so sort of like jumped in there, gave that a go. It's something more for people that haven't really done much in VR. It's a little bit of a magic experience thing, you know, a little bit of wizardry. And it's good fun for a bit of a laugh, especially good if you've not done VR before. Definitely that's a good one. Very beautiful looking game, very pretty. And you get to turn things into fireworks, you get to make things float, you get to be shrunk, turned big, you know, talking skulls and a load of other things like that. And there's other stuff there that I haven't found. There's, you know, it's all hidden in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds mad, dude. They must have done something else. They must have done something technical this week. Surely there must be some sort of circuitry or some frame rate you was trying to make better. Come on, spill it.
Not so much. I mean, I did like the whole thing of adapting the over the weekend, not frame rates. It was the pedals. There's a video on my site that's a review, sort of overview of a cable that I got last weekend. which takes the pedals from my steering wheel, and basically it jumps the resolution up on them by 4 times.
Right.
It
Okay.
definitely helps a lot on the driving sims on the PC to have that. It also gets rid of this really harsh curve that's in the braking curve of the G29. You put your foot right near the end and it gets a bit iffy as to whether you're going to lock wheels up and stuff like that. So there's that. The other one that I played was Defector, which you also played. Which I guess we'll get onto that when you say about you playing that. A little bit of a thing with Team for God.
Okay.
And the other one, which I wanted to do a stream of, but didn't get round to it. So I'll probably do a stream of it, hopefully this week, which is going to be great fun, I think. Especially if you have some people like Stormy or whoever else in there.
Stormy Daniels, yeah.
Yeah, because it's called Oh My Balls.
Oh, my goodness.
So you can imagine the double entendres that are going to come out of that.
It's like a carry-on film, man. It's like another carry-on film. Yeah.
It should be good fun. I've played a little bit of it. It's a puzzle game, basically.
Okay.
There's what's the name of the ones? There's a couple of ones called Ball Blitz and Ball Bomb and a couple of other things like that. It's basically one of these ones where there's colour balls that come out of an exit and they go towards an end point, and you basically shoot a coloured ball to get 3 to make them pop.
Right.
But there are things in your way, and instead of it being like on, it's big on the mobile phones, and when the iPad first came out, there was a version of this type of game, but now they've put it into a VR setting, so it's an FPS mixed with a ball popping puzzle game.
That sounds cool. I mean, I'm definitely interested in checking that out, man. That's for sure. So I need to go back and actually look at the list of what I played. I don't think I wrote them all down. First I played, well, not first, these are in any particular order. I done I Am Hungry. I played that for a little bit on PlayStation VR. Not too bad. Got very repetitive, and to basically, have you two played this or?
I've seen it, but I've played a couple of games like it.
Yeah, so funny enough, it actually done the kitchen bit the best for me. I really enjoyed it because you got Dino Duo as well, but that's infinitely more fun because it's if you get co-op.
Yeah.
But yeah, graphically, I thought the resolution or the anti-aliasing, whatever it was very soft, but the detail in it was really good. The animations in it were very good. And actually making that food, the tracking worked really well. It was really good. And then it was 10,000 coins to upgrade a machine, and there's 4 or 5 machines to upgrade. I played it for an hour, I think roughly 45 minutes to an hour, and I only earned 600. And I was no, I am not going to play this game for that long to get these upgrades. So I was like,
it's grindy as hell.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
You'd have to live in the game. Do you know what I mean? Then I done the Telefrag interview. That was pretty cool. Really looking forward to checking that out. We all are on the 19th, I believe. You've got a PlayStation version.
I've got the PlayStation version. Yeah.
Nat, Salsa, what you got? PC. So I've got PC, but I think I can get the PlayStation as well because I want to try both, and hopefully we'll all see each other online. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I have been in contact with them, so hopefully I'll get PlayStation as well to be able to make the comparison.
Yeah, that should be good.
Cross-platform anyway, in it, so.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, I just want to check it out with a rudder as well. I know a lot of people want to see the rudder stuff. Pavlov, my first game on that. That was really good fun, and yeah, I can't wait to jump into that. Focus on You, I think I've done this week as well with it's like a Japanese date you get. Don't look at me like that, Salsa.
Yeah.
It's actually not that dirty, that game, honestly. I actually completed it. But
next thing is going to be getting Summer Lesson. I've imported Summer Lesson. I've got to have that.
Summer Lesson's worse. I've seen
See,
some of
I
that.
could have got Summer Lesson when I was actually in Tokyo as a physical version, a special edition physical version.
Mm.
Which would have sold. I could have sold at quite a profit. I hear.
Oh, right.
I mean, Japanese games are expensive anyway, but when you have special editions that are only sold in Japan, and
Well,
you
it's
know,
like you got. I know it's not a VR game, but you got Catherine, full body edition coming out, and it's
Right.
already come out in Japan. And Catherine,
Sorry,
the
full
collector's
body.
edition.
Right.
It's
Okay.
called Catherine. It's a puzzle game. It's actually really good. But the Japanese collector's edition has panties in the collector's edition.
God.
Yeah.
Are they clean? That's what I want to know, man. Are they like they're not?
Does it matter?
Well, it does. Yeah, because like you had that girl the other day selling her bath water. Do you know what I mean? Like people are just
Oh,
thinking.
that was brilliant. That was
I was
such
like,
a trolling thing.
That
Oh,
was
Why my
mental.
bath water?
But regardless, regardless, man, even people making memes about it, it's just more infamy for her, isn't it? It's just gonna make her blow up even more. So I see it, man. I see all the tubers making things about her, and but yeah. Anyway, that actually is gonna lead me into a story in Magaluf, but I just don't think I can share it. And then, yeah. So right, that's what we've done this week. Let's go back to the chat quickly. And see, because we've had a lot of people join. Thank you ever so much. We've got TGK, Leo, how's it going? Captain Chrissy.
Yep.
Louverture is saying he's from Spain, so thank you for joining us from Spain.
Wow, I'm going on holiday there, dude, in a couple of weeks. Going to Gran Canaria, I think it is. Is that Spain?
Louverture, you'll be able to meet a famous YouTuber.
I'll have to meet one as well. I met one, yeah, like a proper famous one. Who else we got?
Man in Black as always.
Hot G, he wants to know, Nat, what do you think if Sorrento updates? What do you think if the Sorrento updates? Sorrento has been updated on the Quest.
There's updates coming to the Oculus Quest version of Sorrento. It's still not going to make me buy the game. However, as I've always said, if people can get enjoyment out of a game that I didn't, I'm ecstatic. I just want people to enjoy playing games.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't get on with it. But I will give the developers a lot of credit that they are adding content in. They're adding the co-op multiplayer is being added into it, which I think a lot of people were disappointed it wasn't in the game initially. And I can't remember the other bits in it, but it's a fantastic, fantastic from the developers that they're still supporting the game. And like I say, for people that are enjoying it on Oculus Quest, like I say, I'm really glad that they are.
It was a large update as well. I think the one that I think it was a couple of days ago. It's over a gig on the Quest.
As for the big screen stuff, I've got to be honest. I have yet to check out big screen. I keep meaning to. Although I believe a lot of the new channels that they've added in are locked to America, so I wouldn't actually be able to check out a lot of those channels anyway. Like I know they did a thing on big screen last year where I was kind of, that sucks. They showed Top Gun in 3D. It was like a free thing. But you could only access it if you were an American big screen.
Yeah.
But we can do what we want, can't we? We can go in there and host our own rooms and do what we want to do. Yeah? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I need to do that. I keep promising everyone I'll do it, and I keep not doing it.
See, you know, did you get your Transformers cartoon actually done into 3D? I mean, that would be awesome.
I haven't got dude. I wouldn't know how to do that anyway. But I still haven't ripped it yet. Do you know what I mean? Because the digital version, I can only seem to watch the digital version through a link. I can't actually download it. So at the end of the day, I might as well just put the bloody disc in my PlayStation and copy it on here or something for everyone to watch later on. So I don't know. We'll sort something out. Hot G, how's it going? Thank you for joining. And I hope that answered your question. Madman, I'm sure we said hello. How you doing, Toad? Pabba Chicken.
Can't find a Quest anywhere because obviously it's sold out.
DLG27. Do you know what? I know it's bad, dude. I do that it's sold out, but it's also good it's sold out because that means it's selling really well. Yeah. And but funny enough, have you checked actual Oculus website? A lot of people seem to overlook that you can pre-order or order them from Oculus. So big, and also it fluctuates as well which models are in stock and out, because it seemed like the 128 is the one that people were not buying, and the 64 was really popular, and I understand that completely because it's like £100 difference. And then it flipped around the other way. It seemed like there were 64 gigs in stock. So I don't know if that reflects what's being sold or not, or whether it's just whatever's coming in is coming in. So
they've both got buy now buttons on the Oculus UK store, obviously. Well, Oculus.com.
Yeah.
So they're actually in stock. They're not sort of saying, "Oh, if you order it now, you're getting it in like 2 weeks' time or something."
Is it Toad who said about it?
Oh, dispatched July 24th.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. What's that? 8 days? 9 days?
Yeah, something like that.
So
not too bad.
Yeah, July 24th would be the dispatch for a 64 gig direct from Oculus.
Okay. Yeah, so that's not too bad. TGK, DLG27, he said he saw Nat's video playing Torn today. He seemed to enjoy it.
No, you can't say that. It'll ruin my reputation that I'm a miserable bastard. Can't say that.
That's what he said.
No, I'm a miserable, curmudgeonly bastard. You cannot say that I enjoy things. What are you... It's just...
Yeah,
reputation ruined. Reputation ruined.
TGK,
terrible, man.
He got it yesterday.
No,
on
I
PS4,
did. Look, I still swore in it, and I get frustrated with anything. But no, I really did enjoy it. So yeah, that was it was an enjoyable game. You know, it's one of those things. It's taken me so long to get around to play it. But the next game that's on my radar from sort of like back catalogue, especially because you guys have kind of twisted my arm in it, is Windlands. So I'm going to give Windlands a try.
Yeah, mate, make sure you do that live and put a crash mat in front of you. I swear, dude, I was so close. Like, I threw my leg out in front of me. I was seconds away from going wallop on the floor. So I'm sure you'll be fine. Like, but it was quite a long time ago.
When you go up to the 1 or 2, Windlands 1 or 2.
It's 1. This 2's not available on PlayStation VR.
Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, when you get up to one of those really high points, and you take a look at the vista that's around you, and then jump. It's so good.
It is really good. It is really good. What we got, Fez? Read this. Ex-Oculus employee says VR will never make mainstream, i.e. millions like consoles. I would never put never on it, but I don't. I mean, will it ever? So basically, what he's saying there is it'll never overtake gaming consoles.
It won't. It won't. Now, as
No,
much as I love VR, the problem that you've got with VR, and it's something that they're never going to think, is pretty much anyone can play a games console. Not everyone can play VR.
I think that's at the moment, though.
Yeah, but I had someone on my channel yesterday during my live stream who JD Max put me in contact with. They want to do emotes, and she was saying she cannot play VR because she gets motion sick at a drop of a hat. She can't even play standard FPS games because they make her ill.
Yeah.
So VR will be will sell gangbusters. It will increase. It will be a very viable concern in the marketplace. But you'd have to be smoking crack to say it's going to outsell a standard console. It won't. Yeah. There's just no way it could.
I honestly see VR going like beyond what it is now, beyond how we perceive it. Beyond like having to wear a headset. I don't know what it's going to be, whether it's going to be a small visor, whether it's going to be some stuff put on the side of your head and stuff. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying that's where it's going to go. And, you know, augmented reality, yeah. So, like Doghouse is saying, I do think normal game consoles, that technology will take it further. Whether it's going to be purely virtual reality, I'm not sure. But there's going to be a leap in something. And I think virtual reality is the start.
Well, I've always said that virtual reality at the moment, the equivalency I always give people is VR as we have it now, whether it's PlayStation VR, Quest, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, Index. we're at the Atari 2600 NES phase. That's where we are at the moment in terms of virtual reality. We have got quantum leaps to go. Like if you look at VR in 15 years' time, we come back in 15 years' time and look at where VR is, we'll be laughing our arse off about PlayStation VR and just going, well, that was so quaint, but this is where we are now. So yeah, VR is going to exponentially increase. It's going to explode, but like I say, it will never outsell just standard, plain basic consoles.
Well, I think that you might actually reach a point of parity, because you said about someone there and they can't actually play an FPS game, and one of my friends is actually the same. They can't look at any game that is generated on a flat screen that has motion in a flat 3D space.
Yeah.
I've had to actually play VR for longer than they could stand to look at a flat screen game.
My auntie can't watch someone else play a first-person shooter on a flat screen. Makes her feel sick.
Can she play it herself, though?
If she plays it herself, she's fine. But if she watches you... I've never heard of that. Like, I'm assuming that's like... Because you don't know what direction things are going. I don't know. But I'm assuming that's the only thing I can think of, because you're not in control. But when you are in control, it's fine. So yeah, the chat's definitely enjoying this comment. Yeah. So yeah, fair play to Fez for bringing that to our attention. I'll have to look that up.
It's an interesting one, because I mean, like I say, with my mate, if I put him in control of it, or he's watching, he can't watch it, he can't be in control of it. Put him into VR. It's very dependent at the moment. He'd say, no, I'm not good with it. But he managed to go through a track on Beat Saber, whereas he couldn't do anything else there. Or it very much depends on what you put someone into. But there's also things of people where they have been extremely motion sick in real life, but they've managed to go through things in VR and actually come out the other side curing their motion sickness in real life. So it's not quite known yet. So I think there is potential for a point of parity where you may find that the numbers become a lot more equal than you may think.
Oh, I think the numbers can get very close to each other. 100%.
I think you actually hit the nail on the head there, though. It's certain things holding it back. Like, playing virtual reality now on a hot day is sometimes a nightmare. If it's too hot, and the PlayStation's the worst one for me personally. I find that quite stifling, because actually it does such a good job of blocking out light really well, and you've got the flaps over the nose. I get very hot in the PlayStation over the others. But I done an interview with Adrian Lacey from Ubisoft, and they were really trying to smash the motion sickness thing, because they were so worried about space junkies making people ill, and they were using space pilots. Like, Ubisoft obviously got some cash, so and it all comes down to refresh rates, and they were like checking out how people's inner ears work, like all this stuff. And I'd never heard anything like it, but they were really going to town on it. And I just remember from the interview, the things he told me was going slower actually seems to cause more motion sickness than going quicker. Because when they made the game, they're like, whoa, slow it down, don't want to make anyone ill. And then people were feeling worse than when they wanted to go the speed they wanted to go. Space Chase is, I wouldn't say it's an overly fast game. Like when you play Telefrag, that's quick. This game seems, I think Space Chase is probably half the speed of that. I would say. I don't think it's overly fast.
It's fair paced.
But yeah, I'd say motion sickness is the big thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, definitely that is the big one. So what we got here? Where are we? Do you know what I didn't do? I just want to thank the patrons of the channel. Thank you ever so much. I did want to do that, but thank you ever so much, guys. I really appreciate it. You really do help out. Thank you for telling us what you're playing this week as well, and thank you for being here. It makes it awesome on a Sunday. It really does. Playing more Talos Principle, and it's I've not played Talos Principle. I've heard the name, but I've never.
I've played Talos Principle, not in VR. I've just played the normal flat game. It's a really good game. So it's a puzzle game. It's really, really good though.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: if they literally said, "Hey, we're bringing that to PlayStation VR through a free update," or doing something like Kona where they did the VR add-on, I would flip. It's a really, really good puzzle game. So yeah, and I know it is VR compatible on PC. So if you like a really good puzzle game, very interesting puzzles, yeah, I would kudos to that. It's a really good puzzle game,
Nice.
even flat. So in VR, I could I would flip for that on PlayStation VR. So
Mr.
yeah.
Louverture, I watched a YouTube video talking about the Quest taking over from the Rift S, and eventually the Rift S will fizzle out. Well, the Rift S, I see it as a mid-generation refresh.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I think if you was going into PC VR brand new, personally, I would actually get the Rift S over the original Rift. But can you even buy the original Rift now, fresh?
No.
Only second hand.
Maybe like Amazon and something like that. You might find one second hand and stuff. But I mean, I can see Quest 2 because I don't know if you guys saw the article from the Facebook executive where he said that the Oculus Quest is their final phase of their Wave 1, and their Wave 2 stuff, is mind blowing. What they've got in the thing. Now we're not going to hear about that for a few years. I don't think. I think we might get teased at Oculus Connect 6. We ain't going to be showing anything new, I don't think. But I can see Oculus Quest 2 being the big thing, because I could actually see that, especially with what the guy has done with Virtual Desktop, being a wireless connection to a PC, as well as being a standalone. Kind of like and I said this for a long time ago about PlayStation VR 2. What about if PlayStation kind of went hybrid and they went dockable, that literally you could link it to a PS4, but also there would be a range of games that you could take it round a friend's house, like a Quest. I think that is the next. I think that's the next step. Even the guys at Google Stadia VR have said that it's not something they've looked at, but it's something that they could do, conceivably.
What was you going to say, South?
It's you've got, like, I've read the same article, but you have that whole end of line thing here. We've talked about Quest and being a hybrid before. Quest, why they didn't make it a hybrid? Well, they have the recess out there. I mean, it's annoying that the Quest isn't hybrid. It's one of the things I think it should be. But you also have things like Half Dome that's on the agenda. Maybe that's coming with OC6. I don't know. But that's the Gen 2. Gen 1 of VR, from Oculus standpoint, like you say, is now closed off. Right. So Rift S is a Gen 1. It's not a full refresh. For me, it is exactly that. Those are closed off in that way. You've got the next bits up are going to be your eye tracking, is going to be your depth perception. So Half Dome would introduce things like true depth focus. I don't know if it's very thing like.
I'm just sitting here pretending to know what you're talking about, but yeah, go on, keep going. No, I do know some of it, man. Yeah.
It's literally all of our VR screens are a set focus length, and in the real world, when you look at something that's here, you focus on that, and everything else behind it goes blurry.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what Half Dome does. That's one of the next things they're looking at, so that when you look at something, it knows you're looking at it, makes that in focus, and everything else is blurred. And then when you move your eyes, it does the same as what you do with what you really do with your eyes, and it's to relieve like eye strain and also make it more convincing.
There you go, guys. That is why South is here sometimes, because he's going to talk about half domes. And then what else? That's funny. Sorrento is just $11.99.
You get a big orange, and you slice it in half, and then you put it on the table, and there's your Half Dome.
Someone said they played Sorrento and they weren't happy with it. So that's, you know, like everyone's different. You know what I'm saying? There's someone else I read they didn't like Sorrento. At the end of the day, like they didn't like the graphics of it. It didn't matter what system they played it on. They just didn't like it. So, you know, it's fair play, innit? It's, you know, it's not for everyone. Madman, like the 3D rudder. Waiting for them to bring the base out as I find it moves around. September, they told me they're bringing out the ground gripper, but they're doing a light version and a more expensive version at some point. I don't know if you was here for the show last week when you asked that, but we did answer that one as well then. I reached out. Let me just get his comment up because I'm in touch with, I think it's Nicholas over there. I wrote to him when you wrote to me, Madman, and said that. He should be right at the top. Yeah, but it should be available in September. 2 versions, a normal one, and he's put cheap, and a pro one, the one I've got. And it's a bit more expensive. All in all, it should not be very expensive, but he doesn't know the price yet. So, if you've got a 3D rudder, and me personally, like, when I play it on my carpet, it does move around a little bit. But I mean, before I had the ground gripper, I was sort of like not too bothered about it. I was moving it back and I was sort of getting on with it. But once you get the ground gripper and it doesn't move, that's when it actually becomes quite annoying. Because, yeah, I mean, it's like you don't miss something till you've had it. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I sort of thought, I remember I automatically got the ground gripper out the second time, because I was like, mate, I'm not playing it without that. And I thought, God, that's a problem. Because now everyone's got to try and get a ground gripper. So hopefully they're going to, as they said, they're going to bring out a cheaper version, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming hopefully they're going to send us one over to check out, which would be nice. So yeah, man, hopefully that answers your question. Papa Chiggin, they are going to do an update on Sorrento. They've done one on the Oculus Quest. I haven't seen if there's anything for the PlayStation. If any of you guys know any difference there. I mean, I was quite happy with the PlayStation version personally.
Well, I think, like I say, with Sorrento on the Quest, they've added the features that were missing, like the multiplayer and stuff like that. So, like I say, as you were saying about the people that weren't getting on with Sorrento, yeah, everybody's going to be different about games. So, but everyone that's enjoying Sorrento on the Quest, kudos. You know, like I say, I only want people to enjoy playing games. So, I only want to enjoy playing games at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, man, I hate the fact. Like, it was a discussion we did about exclusives. Some people hate exclusives, and the idea of them, you know. And I understand it. I understand what they're saying. They're like, I think it might have been DL. G27, he was like, all that does is separate the gamers. Do you know what I'm saying? It's separate, and it does. But for businesses, I guarantee you, people would have probably bought a Quest for Vader Immortal. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's Star Wars. They would have seen. And then, fun enough, that's why everyone went a bit crazy when they were like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out on Rift as well." Everyone went, "What? Why would you do that? Why would you slam a massive exclusive on a brand new bit of hardware?" Because everyone, like, I remember I had a PlayStation, I had like loads of good games on it, and then I played Nintendo 64, Mario 64, and I was like, that can do one, because this game has just changed my life. Do you know what I'm saying? And then obviously a game comes out later on a PlayStation, you get a PlayStation again. Like, it's one of those things, man. But that's what an exclusive can do to someone. It can literally make them go, oh, dude, I need this. I need to play this. I need to experience it. And I think once you've tried VR as well, I think that happens even more. I see some VR games now more than I do flat games, and I see a trailer and I think that looks incredible. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you've also got to take into account where you were saying about Rift. Like, for example, there is no way in God's green earth I can have a Rift. Or an original Rift. I might be able to go up to a Rift S because it uses inside-out tracking, but on top of that, then that requires an extra PC. And we've discussed this before. The beauty of the Quest is it's 400 or 500 pounds, and it's all inclusive. You do not need one thing extra. You just buy your software for it.
All inclusive.
So, as you said for Vader Immortal,
I like that.
There's a lot of people that don't have a Rift. They know it's not going to come to PlayStation VR because it is an exclusive. Oculus have brought and paid for it, and I'm sure we'll get onto a couple of rumours for a couple of Oculus titles as well soon.
Titans, love it.
But there is a lot of people that were just like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. this is lightsabers. It's Vader. Okay, I can get that on Oculus Quest. And how many people, like you said, went out there and brought an Oculus Quest, and that was the one game that kind of got them in. But no one ever buys a console really for one game. There might be one game that tips you, but
and then you look at the rest.
About the library. Now, if you actually look at what the launch library was for the Quest, it was like Beat Saber, it was Super Hot, Journey of the Gods.
Too many Christmases all at once.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I think it had. I think the Switch most probably had the best launch lineup that I've seen in recent times.
Right.
I think the Oculus Quest surpassed that with its launch lineup.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'd imagine never playing any of those games on PlayStation or Rift. Like, jeez, man. You said there is some of the biggest.
On Quest is the best version.
Yeah, there's some heavy hitters there, dude. Moss, like as you said, Beat Saber, Vader, even Space Pirate Trainer. That's a great game. I think it's a lovely game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't got some of the depth, obviously, as some other games, but it's a great game to jump into. Now you've got Sorrento, like, and it's weird. Like, I know some people have messaged me recently. I don't know about you guys, and they're like, "When's the next game coming out, dude? I'm getting a bit. Yeah, I need a bit more." But that's because you're double dipping. That's because we're double dipping. Me as well. It's the same. Like, I might play a game to show it off on a stream, but I already know. That's the beauty of the Quest as well. Like, most of the games I've experienced them is on PlayStation. So what happen is I'll play it on Quest and I'll go, it looks sharper, because it does in general. Most games look sharper. Yeah. But there'll be a little bit of drop in some sort of like effects, like something's less shiny, or something's, a little bit more textured. I don't know about you, Nat, if that's what you think as well, because I know you're solid PlayStation to Quest, or with Quest. Yeah, so that's how it feels to me.
Well, the thing is, the example I'll always give is Super Hot, which was one of my favourite games, or is one of my favourite games on PlayStation VR. But that game on PlayStation VR has tracking issues. No way of getting around it. I can't believe that there's somebody that hasn't played Super Hot on PlayStation VR that at one time didn't have tracking issues, whether it's the gun, sort of like you purchase a gun there and it's suddenly there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I played it on Oculus Quest. I had zero tracking issues. It was crisp. It was sharp. The colours were perfect for it.
Yeah.
It is the perfect game for Quest. And even the developers have come out and said that the Oculus Quest, I think you said this actually, Salsa, the Oculus Quest version, according to the developers, is the premium edition of Super Hot. It's the best version. And that's on a mobile, if you want to be pedantic, it's like it spans on a mobile.
Well, it's a £400 device. It's a £400 reality device.
It's crystal clear, absolutely sharp. If you've got the space, you can make a giant space if you like. You can use it in whatever. It tracks nicely. It does everything you need nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it is. So let me just quickly go back through the chat again. We got Fez. I have no idea why you wrote this. My missus knows when I'm looking at another woman uncanny. Like, where did that fit in with the conversation? I'm looking up and down, and I'm trying to figure out how that's happened.
He just wished to express that his wife is most probably standing over him and has a carving knife by his bollocks.
Wear sunglasses, dude. That's what I do. I wear sunglasses. Where else are we? Hypnotoad. Sorry I'm late. Just seen England win the World Cup. Yes. Did we?
Kudos.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, against New Zealand cricket.
Nice.
Who won the tennis, out of interest?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Or Silverstone. I've been so busy today.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton won Silverstone.
Cool. Because his partner actually got the quickest time, didn't he? The qualifying, I believe, didn't he? Didn't he beat his qualifying time or something today?
Somebody's asking me if I'm going to play the Forest. Oh my god, I even forgot that I had that game.
What, the Forest?
Yeah, I've got it on PC. I played it. I played it for like 2 hours.
Same.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I most probably will jump back into. To be honest, like I've discussed it with these guys, and I've discussed it on my own show. My time management sucks. I do need to sort that out and kind of get a schedule running. So once I start getting a schedule running, that's never going to happen. Then hopefully I'll go back and start playing games.
DO27, what is the next big title for PSVR for you guys?
Oh, well, it depends. If No Man's Sky hits when we expect it, I think that is most probably the biggest.
I think that's the biggest.
But the one that I'm actually more excited for than No Man's Sky is Iron Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say Iron Man, man. Yeah, same.
It's just the thought of being in, because we've all seen the trailer, and we've had the people that have had hands on with the game, and everyone has turned around, and it's like you are in the Iron Man suit because you use the move controllers, but you use them
as thrusters,
as the thrusters. Yeah. You actually need to make the movements of Iron Man to propel yourself forward. So everything I'm hearing about Iron Man, I think that is going to be. We talked about Spider-Man Far From Home, the VR experience, and I turned around and said it's an experience that made me just go wee. I think Iron Man VR experience is going to be making me go wee for an awful long time.
But higher pitched.
Much higher pitch.
Yeah, like maybe.
Well, I can't go much higher pitch.
Maybe only audible by dogs.
I ran off with my balls years ago, so I can't go much higher pitch. Just packed them up like luggage and ran off.
So TGK just said my one, actually. So Iron Man, let's say that's there, yeah. That is the first game that popped in my head. But second to that was Sniper Elite, and that's what TGK just wrote. I'm very excited for that as well, because it's by Rebellion as well, so it's going to be absolutely awesome. I'm sure of it. Because the first time when that trailer came out, someone wrote to me and said, are they going to do the slow motion sniper kills? And I was like, surely they have to. Anyway,
but you are actually the bullet.
It's the signature of the game, isn't it? As well?
So, testicle shots in VR are going to be amazing.
Unless you do them to Nat, and they've been, as you said, man, there's
there
nothing
is
there.
No
what? He's still alive and he's running around. Thank you very much, DJ, for that. Yeah, cheers, man. We got.
We also have the other one.
Adrenaline has put. I've had my Vive for 3 years and it still makes me smile every time I put the headset on. That's fantastic. Sorry, South.
Touring carts.
Yes, let's start diving in because otherwise this is going to turn into another 4-hour show.
This is one that also goes across a Pence's thing here as well, where it says, wish there was a racing game on Quest like Real Race 3 on mobile. There is one race game on Quest, I think, but it's not that great. Whereas this isn't confirmed for Quest yet, but I've got to say they're probably going to try and do it as well.
Yeah.
It's on everything else. This is touring carts. It's going to be on PSVR. It's going to be on mobile. It's going to be on PC VR. It's going to be on Apple TV. It's going to be on your phone. It's going to be where it's not going to be. Probably your microwave.
No, I don't know, man. Because Samsung, you can put like games on your fridge and stuff. So maybe you never know.
I don't know about on your microwave.
End of the day, what you're saying is, man,
later.
It's going to be everywhere.
It's just. I mean, look at it.
It looks great fun. Like no two ways about it. I'm not sure about the handling though. At the moment, I was a little. Look, as you said, I don't know. I didn't really.
I've played Mario Kart VR in Tokyo, and when you see the screens of people playing Mario Kart, it looks exactly like that. I mean, I've got video on of myself playing Mario Kart, and it looks exactly like that style as well.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything wrong going there. And I mean, they've got a lot of content apparently planned for this. There's like 20-something odd tracks, all based on real-world tracks that have been scaled down and then made a little crazier.
That's cool.
Different cars that you've got there as well, and then there's all the weapons that you can combine. So instead of just picking up a banana, you can grab your thing. It could be a banana. You grab another thing, and that's a bazooka. And you smash the banana and the bazooka together, and what have you got? You've got a bazooka banana.
That's what I want. Yeah.
One of them.
I think it looks great, man. I think it looks really good, and I'm loving the fact it's got ramps, and it doesn't look like it's going to be scared. Like, at the end of the day, VR carts, I want to get into that on the Quest as well, because I jumped into it the other day on the Quest, and I thought it was actually okay. It's an okay game. It leaves you wanting more, and that's where I think this game's going to come in. It's going to give you more, and the fact it uses a steering wheel, like, it looks like it uses every single control method that you need. I mean, look at this. He's using a steering wheel with the pedals, and he's got a move controller for the power-ups. That's nuts. Like,
what I think they need to do is get onto what do you call it, our physical game side, and get a little glove that you can just wire the controller into the back of the glove like you do with Mario Kart in the arcades.
Yeah.
So that you can sit there with your wheel, with your moves actually strapped to the back of your hands, and then you just go it up and it just sees when you do that motion.
Nice. Just to
do it.
DJ says he doesn't like the idea of that and it looks awkward, but I guarantee you this is just a show off. This is just a show off video, really. Do you know what I mean? To show, and I think it's a good one in a way because it's showing you they're using multiple peripherals and they're even doing them at the same time. So I think it's a great idea. Who else we got in the chat? So, what we got? So Geo27 just said PSVR for a first effort on console was well done. It wasn't perfect and it was just first effort. I think PlayStation VR has changed the game of virtual reality, and it's absolutely incredible. And it's been probably one of the most important things to happen to virtual reality. To be fair,
4 million plus units. So
5 million. It's confirmed 5 million.
Is it 5 million? It's been confirmed.
Yeah, I think it's going higher than that as well, man. It's got to be. Nice. And then what we got here? We got Tits but Funny Balls says, "I am the man." Thank you very much.
Fair enough.
And then what we got? Hypnotoad. Racket NX looks decent. We are going to get to that in a second. I'm so far behind. Gametech UK. Hello, Jason. How you doing? If you haven't checked out Gametech UK, he's got a fantastic YouTube channel. He's great fun. Link, and he does the charity streams as well, 24-hour stuff. That's really cool. I love that. Hello, Lincoln Clay. How's it going? Lincoln Clay recently picked up the Rift S. He does like a podcast as well. And he was talking about his first time using the Rift S and stuff. So that was quite a good thing to hear. And I think he even done a video of him going to the shops and picking it up. So if you want to be on that journey, there's a good way of doing it. Who else we got? JPG, how's it going? Nice. So here we go. So touring carts, I think for everyone is something we're all quite excited about, and very much looking forward to.
September release date.
Really?
Yeah.
September.
September. It's supposed to be September.
Wow, that's cool.
That's what they got on the Steam store.
What, on the wish list? And it's got to come out on every platform at the same time, surely.
You'd hope so, but I mean the main website had all of the others stated as Q3, and they didn't say that above the Steam, but they have Steam set to September 30th, I think, at the moment.
So I mean, it looks like everyone in this chat is going to be able to get this. Yeah, if you've got a Quest, PC, PlayStation, and anything else that South mentioned, we should be able to play this game. So hopefully it'd be cool. Like I'm sure Nat's got his own community, South has got one, I've got one. Like, make sure you try and get into some of these communities and make some multiplayer games, because that's how you keep the games alive, is by everyone getting together and arranging just dates or evenings to play these games. It's quite important to do that. Hello, Buck. How's it going? Right, so let's jump into Racket NX. This is the next game we're going to talk about, and you might have to educate me on this game. So, I know hardly anything about this, and I think it comes out next week. Is that right?
Yeah, it's coming to Oculus Quest. It popped up on the Oculus Quest store end of last week when I was looking through the store. I think it's going to be £14.99. Because it did pop up for a second, but when I went into, I was like, oh, maybe they screwed up and launched the game early. When I went in, it wouldn't let me buy it. So, it did pop up at $14.99. So I think that's going to be the price. It looks pretty interesting. It's just kind of another variant of tennis, really, but they do work pretty well. We've got another game that we're going to be talking about, and a slightly older game that's on a similar principle. But yeah, as I say, it looks rather interesting. I think it's actually come out on other platforms already. I'm not too sure. I think it has come
I
out
think
on
it's already on
PC.
isn't it?
I think this is just like the Oculus Quest version of it. So, as I say, check out some gameplay that's out there. I mean, you can see what you got now, but obviously you're bouncing it against walls and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like I say, it looks like it could be an interesting, fun game.
It reminds me of the game show Blockbusters at the moment.
I was going to say it looks like tennis combined with
Blockbusters.
or squash combined with Blockbusters. You know, can I have a blue, hexagon shape, please, Bob?
I'm not really getting that though. Like, I'm looking at the trailer now. Personally, I don't really get the game from watching it. I'm like, is it like when you have the tennis ball in the garden and it just goes round and round? Do you know what I mean? You can hit it back and forth to yourself. Is it what's the premise of this game? I don't know. I mean, maybe I can check it out. I don't know. Obviously, I'll check it out, but because I'm now really, really intrigued. Because obviously, if I don't get it, I need to understand it, which is going to bug me. So, yeah, I don't know. And the ball's like attracted to the. So it's not multiplayer or anything. This is.
I'm not sure if it's sold on. Where's me?
This is like Blaster Block or whatever it's called, isn't it? Like
Yeah, it's like a beat the wall thing,
Yeah, but it seems like we've got somebody in the chat that's actually got the game. Buck 3131. He's saying it's a one-man squash.
Yeah, he just said it's like one-man squash here, and you have to hit the targets. Well, that's cool, Mesh. What was the game? And I'm sure you saw it was on PC, and it comes to PlayStation VR very early in its life, and it was like a cyberpunk setting, and you and you was in a grid, and you had a car behind you. It's very purpley bluish, but you just whacking the ball to this like AI, and it got bigger, and the grid got massive, and that's what it was. It was just you on your own against.
Which you needed a lot of room to play that game because it actually got very active.
Yeah, I really struggled towards the end playing it. Hollow Ball. Yeah,
I'll just bring up my collection and go right. Okay, let's find out because I got it in there.
That's what this reminds me of, actually. Hollow Ball quite a lot.
It does say it's actually got multiplayer. I've just quickly gone into the thing. It says game mode, single user multiplayer. So it does look like there's a multiplayer mode.
What if you stand back to back or something? How would that work?
Well, maybe each player's got their own room, and as you're trying to hit the things, they disappear or something. But like I say, it sounds like it might be they call it racquetball meets breakout. That's what I was trying to think of. Inside a giant pinball machine.
Yeah, no worries. JPG, yeah, glad you obviously found the video. Thank you very much. Lincoln Clay, unfortunately, has experienced some blurred vision. I think he's got to go to the opticians and get that fixed. Nisu Finn says the best in VR games of the year is definitely Sorrento. He's now playing it on PSVR and Oculus Quest, which is awesome. So that's cool, man. That's what I'm saying. It's so subjective. Virtuality is so subjective. Yeah, man. Decepticon. Oh, yeah. Excellent stuff. Right, so that is another game that's coming out next week, and I think Nat said it was $14.99. You've got to admit, the prices of Quest games are really good. I never thought Sorrento would be a tenner, £10. I never thought that. When I played it, I remember thinking, because it is like a light version of Sorrento, I was thinking, God, if this is $19.99, how can you... Do you know what I mean? How can you recommend it too much? It just seemed a bit out of the price rate. And then when it came out for £10, I was like, do you know what? That's worth a punt for £10. I'd buy it for £10. Do you know what I mean? Like, without a doubt. So it changes everything, doesn't it? Price point. If something's £5,
and it can do. I mean, we go on say this week's release rather than the other one because we've got Defector, which both you and me have played.
Yeah.
And that price point, $20 was it? Or...
Let's just bring that up now quickly, and Nat, I know what we've got to do next.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear about your thoughts on Defector because it looked really, really, really good.
Okay, so I'll let Salsa go first. Let him tell you what he
Okay,
thinks of it.
I think, have you got through to the end yet?
I'm on the last level.
Okay, I'm on the, I think the start of the fourth part. So when I come into it, graphically it looks good. It does look beautiful. No two ways about it. The action bits are pretty good. They're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
There's a couple of bits that I find kind of clinky about it that I'm not too enthused about. And unfortunately, it affects a lot of the storyline.
Yeah.
Which rather like, why do I have to go through every single bit of dialogue constantly? Or there's only one route through one of the bits of dialogue. Why are you giving me 3 choices of dialogue if I can only ever pick one at the end of it?
Yeah.
That just really made me annoyed.
Skipping dialogue was probably one of my, now you brought it up, my biggest gripe. Because if you die and you start a section, why do you want to listen to the guy? I mean, and that's an old school thing, isn't it? Games have been letting you skip conversation for a long time. So it's one of those things maybe they've overlooked. And just to bear in mind, Twisted Pixel are, like most developers now, are reachable. That is the beauty of virtual reality at the moment. A lot of smaller studios, indie studios, you can get in touch with them, especially via Discord. Twitter's good, but Discord's actually better because you'll be directly in touch with developers and you can give your feedback for things like that. So if you've got a bit of time on your hands, definitely check out Discord. And you want to see a game improve, you can do that yourself. You can actually help out. So you how far did you get in it, Salsa? Did you say?
I'm getting onto the 4th section now, I think.
I don't want to spoil it.
No, don't spoil it.
So basically, someone said to me with this game, they went, it's the only game I've ever played where I went from being James Bond to being in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no. Yeah, I was standing there and going. I was sort of like, you come into the beginning of that scene, and I just stood there and just went, when
yes.
they get here,
that's exactly what I did.
Like vroom, vroom, vroom.
Yeah.
I'm going, because I'm a big Battlestar Galactica fan. Both old series and new series.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like, what?
Yeah, it's exactly what it does. The game leaves you going, when did we get here? How did this all even though
how did this happen? Yeah.
Well, how did the Cylons turn up in your game?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Cylons turn up in the game, exactly.
And I can see, I think it was Mike VR Oasis, like, I was just chatting to him about it, and he said to me, he went, it's weird, it's like, one lot of devs come in and made the first part of the game, and another lot come in the second half, and went, you know what we're going to do? We're going to add the robots.
Yeah, real spanner in the works. But this is a part of the thing. One of the things I would say is a conversation, because everybody's drawing conclusions between this and Defector and Blood and Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing I'd heard, that it's free motion, Blood and Truth.
Now, the action parts are, in part, free motion, Blood and Truth. But the story-wise and the acting-wise, things like that,
I'm struggling. Blood and Truth is a bloody amazing game. Like, this is an awesome game. This is a great game. I absolutely loved it. It gave me
and this is where that price point thing comes in.
The price point was mental. Like $20.
$20, 16 quid. Yes, at that price, yes. But it doesn't stand up to Blood and Truth for me. It just doesn't, because Blood and Truth felt like you was really full on in your own version of a action hero cinema thing. And I know it doesn't suit everybody, but it just got, it was more of a whole package. This has got too many problems elsewhere that are fixable and could have been fixed, and they're not. It's like a primary thing with the dialogue and the choosing of dialogue that's unnecessary, that just unfortunately puts a dampener on it.
How do you choose? Sorry, how do you choose the dialogue? That's an interesting.
You just get
thing
like
to
options.
Me.
Yeah,
you get
it comes up with a like press A and to do this, and that kind of sucks. I mean, at least with, I mean, well, Blood and Truth isn't the greatest game ever in my opinion, but the story is really strong in that game, and also there are bits where you can literally just nod your head where you're answering. There isn't the bit where it's just like press A, press B, because I've got to admit those sort of things do actually take you out of the game. Yeah. In terms of the immersion. Especially with VR, you don't need to do it.
You can just shake your head yes or no.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the, if it's a good enough story, like Blood and Truth was, you can just turn around and sort of say, "Are you happy with that?" Yes, I'll do that. It's like, okay, let's move on to the next bit. So
it's the crazy bit that they give you like 3 or 4 choices, but it only moves the game forwards if you select the right one.
Yes.
So there's actually no reason to select one of the other options.
To have 3 options or 4 options when only one is going to give you the next bit in the game.
Yeah, so like for me, as I said, like for the $20, bearing in mind you have action branches in this game, because when I put some gameplay up on Reddit, people were saying to me, "How did you get to this bit?" And it's an action branch. Basically, that's what it means. You come to a point in the game where you can just do a completely different part of the game. So I think to myself,
the dialogue bits. They're not the same dialogue bits.
No, I'm thinking the 3 chapters. The first 3 chapters are fantastic. I personally really like the game. There is a good 45 minutes of this game that I'd love to skip, because it is a bit like, what are we talking about? Why are we talking about it? This is boring. But the rest of it is an absolute rush, and I absolutely love it. And like, I'd fully recommend picking this game up for that.
I'd go back to go out of the back of the plane in the different cars. Constant for a couple.
I was struggling which ones to take.
I took the Koenigsegg every time. BMW versus Koenigsegg. It's Koenigsegg, man.
Yeah, man. Fez asked, this is on the Quest. No, this is on the Oculus Rift. I believe it's an Oculus exclusive as well. They are the publishers.
It is Oculus exclusive. It's Oculus Studios with Twisted Pixel.
Yeah, so JPG has put, does anyone remember the name for a VR zombie game where you can nail stuff onto the walls with a hammer, and you can do it with guns or melee weapons? You also have to collect items before the herd comes. Does anyone remember
the only game I know with Horde is Arizona Sunshine.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever nailed any part of anything to a wall like that. I can't think what that is. But nice, okay. JD Max says...
I think I know what he could be talking about.
Yeah.
The procedurally generated one. Wolfie's big on it. Or was.
What, in Death?
Not in Death.
That's not a zombie game.
One in space. There's things in it that look like they're zombies, but it's in space because what was it called? Oh, wow! Come on, you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
The one before he got into in Death.
Nope.
The only zombie game I know in space is The Persistence.
There you go, Persistence.
Oh man, yeah, The Persistence. That's a fantastic game. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I guess they are space zombies, aren't they? I haven't really thought of it like that.
Yeah, they're zombies in reality. Yeah.
I think because their DNA is messed up. Basically they are replicated, aren't they? Wrong. And that's the idea of it, isn't it?
That's the fun thing where the computer goes, "There's been a mistake, and your crewmates have turned into murderous killers." So
that's the one. Hello, JD. How's it going? Thank you for joining, man. What are they talking about now? Battlestar Galactica, it sounds like.
Yeah, JD was expressing that he's got a crush on Dirk Benedict. I think it was Dirk Benedict anyway, because he was talking about Starbucks. So
nice.
No, he's not talking about Dirk Benedict.
He's got to be talking about Dirk Benedict. That's Starbuck.
Yeah, that's the old Starbuck.
How dare
is there a
you?
new one?
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, listen, right? I'm before anyone lynches me, I am not big on Battlestar Galactica. All right, I remember watching it. I remember thinking the ships were cool.
I know he means Cara Thace. So.
There you go.
Yes, he does.
Who's
Cara.
actually really, really sexy. So.
I loved her version of Starbuck actually, because when you come into the new version, and it was sort of like she come along and you go, right, he's Starbuck, and then Cara Thrace comes out, you know, the whole Cara Thrace character, and it's sort of like, right, so let me get this straight. The original Starbuck was a cigar smoking, whiskey chugging, card playing womanizer. And then you go, right, so what's Starbuck this time? Well, it's a cigar smoking, whiskey drink, card madness.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, you go, girl. It was really, really good character. Really great, strong female character. Really loved it.
I've got something to share that I found on Reddit today. This is from Fosky Flies. I don't know how big this is going to be. Hold on, let me try and get this done right, because it's taken over the whole screen. Hold on 1 second. Let me...
Yeah, she does, JD. Yeah, she does, JD.
So yeah, basically this guy, his dog got hold of his Quest. You show a horror. Oh my god! Let me try and increase that, dude. It's, it got mangled. It's like, oh no! I know.
Show. This is an ultimate VR horror show.
Oh, look at the strap.
The misery. Oh, the misery.
Look at the strap. I was like, what the hell? So yeah, man, that was nuts. Imagine, I thought, I remember my dog chewing one cable, and she never done it again. But look at that, like, look at the destruction. I mean, where's the rest of the headset? Actually, when you look at that, where is the headset? Like, I can see
most probably in the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I can see there, but there's no. That's mad.
And the headset is just the angle is looking at where you're looking at the headset from.
Oh.
The rest of it, because it's the angle down that way.
Oh dear. So yeah, there's that's something I thought would be quite funny. So yeah, definitely that's over on the Oculus Quest Reddit. So let's crack on to Spark.
Yeah.
Spark.
Here we go.
Well, we got the link in there, don't we? We got two links in here, because the common linker that's going between Battlestar Galactica and Eve Valkyrie, and then Spark CCP.
Yeah, man.
Well, I gotta be honest. This was one of the biggest shocks. I didn't. You'd have never got me to sort of say, "Oh, something's going to happen with Spark," and a lot of that came down to the announcement. Tail end of 2017, was it? Where CCP Games pretty much said they were pulling out of all VR development until the market had matured, as they called it. They weren't going to abandon the servers, which is why Valkyrie still works, Spark still works. But Spark has had a fairly big update. So we've got new game modes now. Online, we've got quick play, custom games, and ranked matches have been added into the game.
That's awesome.
Ranked matches are wave-based, so keep the games flowing quickly. Also, you don't get a rank until you've played 10 ranked games. The idea behind that is that you will be put in matches with players of a similar skill level. So I know, like I played Lewis Knight. If any of you guys know Lewis Knight, really cool dude. He's got a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to his channel. He deserves it. But I was playing a game with him, and he was kicking my ass. And there was a point in the game where I just turned around and I goes, "Lewis, am I owing you money or something? You're just destroying me." so at least hopefully that won't happen. You got rank leaderboards. But what's really cool is there's a load of new spectating tools. And this stuff is out now, by the way, guys. So you can just update your game. There's different camera locations that you can go in. There's a free fly mode. And players now, if you've played Spark, and I think you see it in the thing here, if you're a spectator, you can see like a little mini court in front of you. You can see the players play, which was really cool. But the players could never see the spectators. Well, you can now.
Oh, right,
the update has actually allowed players can look out and they can actually see spectators in the arena.
Well, no, you could see the two that were waiting at the side, but you didn't have the same amount.
Yeah, so you'll see them all now. Players will be able to see how many spectators they have. The voice communication, however, for spectators, it says has been disabled. Now, I'm not too sure because it's been a while since I played Spark. I think what that means is before you were able to just have a voice chat and you could chat to the players while they were playing the game as well as spectators. I think what it's most probably done is because they've kind of seen it as a distraction for the players. So I think the players will most probably be able to, talk shit to each other, but the spectators won't be able to talk to the players. At least I hope that is. So at least spectators will be able to talk amongst themselves. Now, the thing that I posed yesterday, and obviously I'd like to get your thoughts on this, guys. It makes no sense really to do this update unless you're planning to do something else with the game.
Oh.
And I think they're going to bring it to Quest because that would then make perfect sense. Also, I think it's a game that would suit the Oculus Quest. I want to get your thoughts on that.
I agree.
Yeah, it so would, and somebody else was also saying in chat there, who was it who also went,
it was Drew 196, my man Drew. Yeah.
I think it makes sense, definitely. Whether I see it happen, I didn't, this come out.
It's whether Oculus let it happen. That's what it's about. It's if Oculus let it happen, because after what happened with To The Top, which is, you can say it, like, that is a bloody good game, and it's got a player base, and it's well reviewed. Same as this game, really. And I would actually say To The Top has a bigger player base than this, actually. I think. It does. Yeah, so, and that's not to put this game down. This game is actually really, really good. It's a brilliant game. I'm guessing it. To The Top's got a bigger one. With the update coming, I think, Drew, Nat, I think you are right. I think a Quest version is in the works. I think that's what they want to do. Why would you revisit a game after all this time? And as Buck is saying, it's free this weekend to try out. Obviously, that's not on PlayStation now, I don't think. That'll be on PC VR. Is that on Oculus Store or Steam? Is it on Oculus as well? The free.
I would have thought it's on Oculus.
Spark is on Oculus. It's on Steam. And it's on PlayStation, obviously.
No, to play free this weekend.
I'm
not sure.
It should be on the main store page if it is.
DJ has asked, Captain Chrissy says hello to you too. Spark is also free this weekend. Nice. Where are we? What did I just read? Anyone news on To The Top and the Quest? No, unfortunately there isn't, and I'm still in contact with developers, and things are moving, so it's just one of those, nothing to say. If they do, I will double dip. Do you know what? I would double dip on Spark. What about you? Would you double dip on Spark?
I'd buy Spark in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
because it actually is so much fun, because like I say, it's all about the shit talking.
Yeah, it'd be a triple dip on me, wouldn't it? Because I've already bought it twice.
All right, show off. Oh dear.
He just wants to show off the money he's got.
Triple threat.
It's like that point that Bacon would, I'm sure, remind us all about. It's, what do we do with the third one?
Yeah, as Buck said as well, in case no one knows, and thank you very much for this. It is crossplay as well, so. And again, it's becoming more of a feature in a lot of games now. Developers are chucking in there as kind of like not necessarily a afterthought. It's becoming quite a primary thought, because what's the point of making an online multiplayer game and then basically saying only a certain amount of people can play it? So I think it's great, dude. It's what you need.
Well, Ubisoft made the announcement. what was it? Eagle Flight, I think, was one of their first games. And then the announcement came that every single one of their games would 100%, if it was coming out on VR, it was going to be crossplay.
That's cool.
Yep.
And I think they've stuck. Well, they have stuck to it because Space Junk is that Werewolves Within. And they've done a third game as well. They did Eagle Flight, Werewolves Within. Christ,
Star Wars. Star Trek.
Oh, Star Trek Bridge Crew, yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek, without a doubt. So let's jump into the news article, this is basically regarding Oculus, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, and Assassin's Creed in VR.
Yeah.
There was an article on a website called The Information. Oculus have apparently signed an exclusive deal for Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed in VR, but there's no mention if the games are on Oculus Rift, Quest, or both. For example, we're not sure.
It just says Oculus headsets.
Yeah, so Upload VR. There was an update, a recent update as well. They had a quote from a Facebook spokesperson saying the response to the Oculus Quest and the Rift S have been absolutely incredible. We cannot comment on specific partnerships, but we will continue to focus on expanding our library and reaching broader gaming audiences for years to come. So yeah, like you were saying, that there's nothing concrete behind this, is there?
It isn't, but I've got a feeling, and we were discussing this before we came on air between the three of us. Oculus Connect 6 is very, very close. It's in September. There is nothing bigger for Oculus to reveal at Oculus Connect 6. Exclusive Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell, especially Assassin's Creed, because that is a humongous franchise.
It is.
Splinter Cell is. I think Splinter Cell would actually be the better VR game.
Yes.
Over Assassin's Creed.
I'm more excited for Splinter Cell personally.
But
yeah.
Assassin's Creed is the bigger name. It will bring a lot more people to VR than a Splinter Cell will.
And it's still current as well, Assassin's Creed.
Exactly. So, but I think what we'll find is there'll be some big announcements, and I've got a feeling, unless something else leaks and they kind of feel that they've got no choice but to announce it, I think we won't really hear anything else. And then Oculus Connect 6, they'll just come out and say, hey guys, we know you love these games. We'll get somebody from Ubisoft come out and say, we know you love these games. You've always asked about Assassin's Creed in VR. You've always asked about Splinter Cell in VR. They're coming, and it will not just be to Oculus Rift. It will be they're coming to Oculus Rift and Oculus Quest.
Oh,
and
mate,
enjoy.
Yeah, if they do as well, here's the other really big question: first person or third person? Which would you play?
First person. Has to be first person.
I don't know.
Because after playing Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, third person really didn't work well. See,
did you say it did or it didn't? Sorry.
It did. It's an amazing game.
Also, Edge of Nowhere, which I played this week on the Rift by Insomniac, that's a third-person game. It's an older game. Don't get me wrong. I was just going through a back catalogue and looking at stuff that looks cool. Third person worked amazingly well for that as well. And also made a lot of people really enjoying the video. So, you know,
well, Assassin's Creed, I could say, could work in third person. Splinter Cell has to be first person. Even though the games are third person, I think for Splinter Cell to work in VR properly, it has to be first person.
Yeah, I agree.
Got Aspire 1 coming out, of course, which has very much stealth based stuff as well. Right. And that's going to be another one where people go, well, if Aspire 1 can do it, why can't you do it with Splinter Cell? And that's the first person. But I do kind of see that the third person could also work just as well with some of that. But it also brings up another question, which we've also got in the Discord, which is about other older games. Mm-hmm. And I know this has come along as well. What we've got is sort of like, so if we could pick an older game, what would we like to see ported to VR?
Oh,
So,
that's an
for
easy question
example-
for me. For PlayStation VR, the Resistance series, 100%.
Okay.
And I'd actually go with a trilogy of Resistance. I wouldn't go for just one of them. I'd go trilogy Resistance 1, 2, and 3 because they're all different.
So any
They've all
one
got
game,
really cool
any one
weapons.
series or one game
No,
into VR.
I'd put the Resistance series in one bundle,
Right.
and you get 3 games. But it'd definitely work. The Insomniac have the craziest weapons to use, and that's one of the things I like. So I'm jealous of you two being able to play Stormland when it comes out, because there's going to be some crazy stuff in that they're going to do with that game. But
It's so good.
I just want to say, man, like the chat is kicking off on this one because obviously we got most people are retro gamers as well, as we're now called, I guess.
Yeah.
80s, 90s, and all that. So yeah, we got to go through some of these, man. I think I'm torn.
Halo.
I know. I'm reading. GoldenEye was the one I saw. I was like, wow. Just let you know, Hypnotoad, right? On Pavlov the other day, they've done some GoldenEye levels in Pavlov, and that was pretty incredible. And I'm going to really try and seek them out as we go. I think I'd like to see Metal Gear Solid in VR. I think I'd love to see Metal Gear Solid in VR. I know, like we're talking about Splinter Cell and stuff, but it's always when the stories are good in Metal Gear, they can really get you in there, and the characters and the bosses. And Metal Gear Solid, like on PlayStation, was it is next level. Do you know what I'm saying? It was very next level.
I mean, come on, Death Stranding at some point soon. It'd be very strange. A Kojima game in VR would be awesome.
Just so let's quickly have a look at this. We've got still BioShock from Drew. Hypnotoad says GoldenEye. That's a mental one. DJ said,
Buck said cover.
I know.
Buck said Time Splitters.
Time Splitters, yeah. I used to love the Time Splitters. That was Rare. Was it Rare who made that, or was it IDOS? But it was developers of GoldenEye. There was a tie in there, wasn't there, with GoldenEye? I'm sure of it with Time Splitters, because I remember even the health bars and the shield bars looking the same.
Well, there was a golden gun, wasn't there?
I can't remember who did Time Splitters actually.
No, I can't. But I'm
Hypnotoad
sure
said Superman 64.
I remember that game. Halo would be sick, yeah. So yeah, Halo would be amazing. Uncharted, yeah, without a doubt. So yeah,
so ones in there. Half-Life, of course, come up. One I would like to see is G-Police.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
Did you put that in the chat? Did you put G-Police in Discord?
No.
Someone, I'm sure. So basically, if you want to check out the links in the video, if you're on YouTube or anything, there will be up later on Facebook.
Faster put on
G-Police. Yeah, so basically...
I didn't read that. I've only read his top bit of TIE Fighter.
What we try and do is, if everyone wants to, if anyone hasn't, you can jump in our community Discord, and there is basically a VR link section, and anything you want discussed or any news in the week that comes up from Reddit or anything like that, and you want us to know about it, just chuck it in there, and hopefully we'll bring it up on the program as we go. So going back to this before we jump into more of the Discord questions, if there is any, there were some more bits that go with this this Splinter Cell thing. Basically, they've put it all makes sense since the sales of the Quest has substantially exceeded Facebook's internal sales projections, and it looks like Oculus are doubling down on its exclusive content priorities, which is crazy after what we talked about earlier with exclusives. They've obviously seen that VR exclusives are obviously a big thing, and they mean a lot to people. And and in a way, like Vader Immortal was a testament to that, because it was on the Quest exclusively. And then suddenly, I think even only a month before launch, I remember being in the gym in the morning. What, they said it was coming to Rift?
Yeah, it was always coming to the Rift.
But it was only 2 weeks, wasn't it? There was only a 2 week gap.
It was the what you call it, OS5, when they announced Oculus and that they said it will be coming later to the Rift, but they didn't specify how long.
Yeah,
they just said it was coming to Quest first.
I just caught onto the
just
bit
want to
when
quickly bring out the
weeks
chat.
away.
JRB, the gamer Black Cat B, said, "Do you not think Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell will be a timed exclusive like Borderlands 2 VR? Ubisoft normally supports both platforms, and PlayStation VR has a big player base." I don't know what your thoughts are, guys. My thought is no, because Oculus are investing, they're paying for the games to be made.
Yeah.
Unlike Borderlands, where I think Sony paid for marketing exclusivity, which is why they've got like an 8-month, 6-month window or something like that. Which, by the way, it'd be coming to PC anytime now. So
yeah,
hopefully, I'm sort of like waiting for them to drop the DLC. The DLC's coming for that soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was meant to. I actually thought Borderlands would have been out by now. In June, July.
I think they're still working on the PC version and going, hang on a second, PSVR, here you go, we're adding the multiplayer. And guess what?
Wow.
It's cross-play with PC players. That's right, PC players can do it as well now as well. That would be like, hello, cherry dropped on top of that cake.
Yeah, that's my only complaint. That's my only complaint with Borderlands 2 VR. It's why it's not my favourite game on VR, because otherwise it would have been. Because I love Borderlands. The only reason Borderlands 2 VR isn't my top VR game is it doesn't have the multiplayer. It doesn't have the co-op multiplayer, and that game is built around that. It's a really fun experience single player, but nowhere near as fun as a multiplayer, where you just got friends and you're just like screaming, "Look, bloody get me! I'm dying!" and shit. Yeah. It's really fun.
I so want it. So want.
You and me both, man.
It's like that and Destiny, for me, are two big ones that in VR would be like, if I could play
Destiny
through,
would be sick.
If I could play through the VOG, if I could play VOG, if I could go through a full-on VOG session in VR, it'd just be like, oh my giddy aunt.
I was just going to bring up what DJ said. The other thing is, I love playing Borderlands 2 using an aim controller. I absolutely love it. I think that's the best way to play it. So if you haven't tried that, do that. And also a couple of more. Buck says he'd love Space Harrier in VR. There's a YouTuber called Seraphim190. He's making Space Harrier using Dreams. And VR is supposed to be coming to that. Whether you can build in VR and then or build flat screen then play it in VR, I'm not sure how it's going to work. But either way, they're saying VR is coming, and I offered my voice to the Space Harrier game, because I still do it now, man. When I go down, I'm like, oh. Do you know what I mean? I think about it all the time from the arcades. So yeah, I was like, man, I'll do that. I've got a couple of recordings for him I'm going to send him, so that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, we got someone making that for you, Buck. And then someone put Dead Space. Yes. I love Dead Space. Why has it not come back? Why did it stopped?
Because it's EA. It's EA, mate. They ruined Dead Space 3. They had the perfect horror franchise, but they didn't want it to be a horror franchise by the time they got to the third one. They added co-op. That game never should have ever had co-op. It never needed co-op. It was all about the single player, let's frighten the living bejesus out of you. Dead Space 1 is one of the greatest horror games ever. Dead Space 2 is actually a really good game. I don't think it's nowhere near as good as Dead Space 1, especially on the horror front, but it's a really good game. With Dead Space 3, they just screwed it up.
Yeah.
EA got their sticky fingers involved.
It's like they lost the soul of it, man. There was something not quite there. You know what I mean? Oh, TGK2 put Fear. Do you remember that? I'll never forget.
I remember Fear.
Yeah, I remember that bit when you go down that ladder and that girl's there. Obviously, everyone remembers that. That was like mind blow. But I've just thought of one. But go, Sal. So I know you want to talk, and I'm going to try and remember the next game.
I was just going to say, obviously, EA and everybody's coming up with the different things. And I saw an amusing tweet earlier that was saying EA's put out an article asking people why everybody hates them. And everybody's like,
because you've got to pay money for your game you've already bought.
What do you mean? Why does everybody hate EA? Because, they've called gambling, they've called this, that, the other, you know, it's sort of like talk about the money grab. But I was going to come back to another game and go full circle on something else as well. Since we also did Ubisoft stuff as well, one of the other older games I would like to see there, Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
As well.
Rewinding time in VR would be pretty cool.
Oh, there's so many good things.
I've got one. Condemned.
I didn't play the first one. I only played the second one.
Oh, the first one was absolutely, and I think it was a launch title on Xbox 360. Condemned. That type of game, or that environment, that game felt incredible to me. You know, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was such a great game. So yeah. Apparently, Oculus has still never bought a studio outright, though.
No, they haven't.
To go back to what we were saying earlier.
If you look at the companies that they've invested money in, who did the Marvel Powers United? They did something for Sony. Sanzaru Games.
Yeah.
Because they did the Sly Cooper reboot. Which is, I wish they'd have carried on with that. I love Sly Cooper games. But yeah, they had Sanzaru. So yeah, they pretty much use third-party games, but it becomes like a second-party game. So, but yeah, I'm not aware of them actually investing and that they actually have an Oculus. Well, they have Oculus Studios. But I think they just kind of make an agreement with other studios to, okay, let's make a game for these headsets.
Yeah, like
which is, fair.
The VR realm. So when we said about VR games, Drew brought up one that I thought of as well, Ratchet and Clank. I thought of Crash Bandicoot actually, and I've still been waiting for that to happen on PlayStation.
I thought of Jax.
What's that?
Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter, yeah, man, yeah. I love that series.
Well, I tell you what, I think would have happened is if Sony had the rights to Crash Bandicoot, because they don't, Activision unfortunately do. I don't think we'd have seen the Crash Bandicoot platformers ported to VR.
Yeah.
Guarantee Crash Team Racing would have been ported to VR.
Yeah, I'm sort of like we've got Sonic came out, Crash Team came out, Touring Kart is basically going to fill the gap these games have missed out on.
Yeah. Hello, Lord Nexon.
That's it. That's how I see it. The Touring Kart is set itself up to smash these bigger IPs out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
But what I've actually found amusing, I think the game that changed everything for most people, especially on PlayStation VR, where suddenly it was like opened up. Everybody was like, "Oh, well, this game would be good. This game would be good." But on the whole, we got new games, new IPs. I think the one game that changed everything, and suddenly people started looking at back catalogue, and what was possible was Wipeout Mega Collection. That was the one, because that
was a mind blow.
One of the best, and it was a free update as well. That was one of the best updates to VR. It's one of the best PlayStation VR games still.
And it's free. The update was free.
The update was free. But I think suddenly, with also what the developers said, that the reason they were able to get it to work so well is because the original Wipeouts that they were using were PS3 models. And suddenly everybody was, and I remember when I did that and I did videos on it and they got really good views, everyone was looking at old PS3 games. It was BioShock, it was Metal Gear Solid 4, they just literally
all the games I missed, basically.
Zone of the Enders, they redone that in VR, didn't they? And that was Zone of the Enders 2 on PS2 or PS3? Was it on PS2?
They were on PS2, but you did get a HD remake on PS3.
And I'll tell you what, Zone of the Enders in VR is actually very good if you enjoy a narrative-based game. There is obviously elements in it. It is very action-orientated, but there's a lot of story in there. But it's pretty cool.
There's another interesting backstory in the whole Wipeout story of going to VR as well. That you had Wipeout Omega Edition, obviously released with just flat screen version, and it's all the upscale 4K stuff.
Mm.
The developers that made the VR version didn't work on the upscale.
No, they worked on the VR version alone.
I spoke to someone that worked on the upscale version,
Right.
and they went, "No, we never thought of it for VR because it would make everybody sick and would be awful." And I just went, "What do you think?" Is that actually making a new game for PC, which is very much like Wipeout. And I had a big conversation with them, and it's sort of like, "So why aren't you bringing this to VR?" And it's sort of like, "Well, it'll make everybody sick and it'll be dreadful." And I'm like, "Have you seen what's happened with Wipeout Omega Collection?" He went, "Well, I worked on Wipeout Omega Collection." And I went, "Did you make it into VR?" "No, because it'd make everybody sick." And I went, "Well, it's now one of the most favoured VR games out there."
Oh, without a doubt. It's got everything you need. I think the problem is people, when they want a VR racer, it's not cars, it's not real world. So people sort of go, well, that's a different category of racing game. And I get that. I do. I completely understand it. But it is still probably the best racing game we've got in PlayStation
It's
VR.
also so good quality because it's gone from an older base.
Was everything soundtrack?
I think Salsa nailed it when he was saying about speed, because the one thing about Wipeout Omega Collection, they haven't toned down on the speed in that game. That game is fast as shit. That really, I mean, and the thing is, I even though I like the Wipeout games, I suck at them. I actually am much better in Wipeout Omega Collection in VR than I've ever been on the flat screen. Because the one thing, and this is like JD Max and you, Chris, you love racing games.
Yeah.
Well, the reason racing games work so well in VR is, and obviously Salsa, I do apologise, Salsa, because you've got the really good setup as well, is you can see the corners, you anticipate, because it actually feels lifelike.
They've got depth.
You've got the depth that you don't have on a flat screen, so you can do so much.
Not
I think that's why.
With Wipeout, whenever I play it flat, I play it third person, and when I play it in VR, I have to play it first person. It doesn't feel right third person for me personally. I don't know about you guys, and that's the same at any racing game pretty much. I've tried a third person perspective. I can't do it in VR. I need to. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's weird because if I'm the character and I'm driving that ship or I'm driving that car, I don't want to see myself. I want to see my hands. I want to see what's going on. So, what about you? What about you, Nat? How do you play Wipeout?
I play it in first person.
On flat screen as well?
No, flat screen. It's always third. So I always pull as far back as possible.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I play first person all the way.
What, first person for both?
Yeah.
He's mental. Right, so where was we after that? So we're just going to talk about, Salsa brought up a game earlier, and this is basically his show now, this bit, because I didn't know about this. So let me just quickly jump into here. So we've got Mech Warrior as well. Got to do some PS3 driving games. Hopefully, apart from touring cards, it would be nice to see one more racer come to PlayStation VR. I mean, obviously, a lot of people's eyes are on Dirt 2 for PC VR. And that's another exclusive, really. I mean, you could go on about that as well.
Yeah, because that's been bought. It's also the same again. Someone else brought it up as well. The Microsoft factor of, is Microsoft actually going to jump in and this, that, the other? But of course, mixed reality is dead.
Right.
Headsets, I'm like,
you can't get them.
No,
you can't. They are finito. The only ones that are the what do you call it? The Samsung Odyssey. If you're in America, you can get still, and the HP Reverb, the new HP Reverb, are the only two that are going to be out there selling. Everything else is gone. And personally, but it also comes with this thing we're saying Oculus hasn't bought up any studios. Microsoft has bought up VR studios, which is also getting people to speculate.
Yeah.
Well, they've bought studios that have done VR work. They haven't really bought VR studios.
Yes.
And to be honest, their bigger games are not VR.
No.
So is it in Exile? Doing obviously Wastelands 3, which I've got to admit does look really, really good. And obviously Ninja Theory did what was it? Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice. They upgraded that, so it was playable in VR. I would absolutely love for Microsoft and Xbox to jump into the VR realm.
Yeah, you need it. Yeah,
just for the simple reason it gives competition to Sony. Sony would have to respond, and we would at the end of the day it would all get better for us. As consumers, it would be better because you look at PS4, it just took off. Honestly, if Xbox had really taken off as well, would we have got all the really cool stuff that Xbox offer? No. I don't think we'd have got Xbox Game Pass and all this sort of stuff. Xbox were dying. They just didn't have the market share, and they knew they had to do something revolutionary. And I'll give them their dues. Xbox Game Pass is a really good proposition. If you haven't got a lot of money,
and you don't even need an Xbox. That's the best
you don't need an Xbox, exactly. You can do it through a PC now. But yeah, I would love Microsoft to jump in. Unfortunately, I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Everything they've said, they don't want.
Until
it reaches its maturity, then I think they're jumping.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, at that point, it's going to be too late.
And I think it's going to be too late. But also, I hate what Microsoft have done with VR and gone, oh, well, it's not VR, it's mixed reality. You've got something that people didn't understand, and they came in and went, oh, we're not doing VR, we're doing mixed reality. What the hell are you doing? People don't understand it as it is, and you're making it more complicated.
Yeah. A lot of big firms do that. Chat, he said someone was talking about maybe a mech game, and I can fully agree with what he said. But if you're interested in a mech VR game, take a look at Vox. I think it's Machina or Machina. I don't want to try and spell it wrong, but he's put it in the chat. It is on the channel. I've done a video on it. If you want to search that, just put the name of the game, Vox, and then Gamertag VR. It should come up. Maybe Sales has played it as well. I'm not sure.
I haven't, but I played other. I think as soon as I played, there's a detailed version of Gundam that you have in the Japanese arcades, which actually has the full setup, like the old whole sticks, pedals, everything. They actually did that in VR, and it was absolutely mind-blowing, brilliant.
Yeah.
So once you've played that with the whole physical setups of all the sticks and everything as Gundam, nothing else is cut.
Honestly, dude, like I love Vox. I haven't been on it. Doing this makes it a struggle to replay games, but there's like the Titanfall eject thing. You pull it at the top and you go out of the cockpit. If you pick up the CB radio, you see like the avatar of the guy you're talking to on a little screen, like when you're coordinating. Dude, honestly, it is absolutely amazing. And when I played it, I was like, I've got to make a video on this game. It just impressed me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was very good. Definitely check that out if you've got PC VR. It's really cool. Thank you for that, Chatty. Cheers. Lord Nectar says he's so addicted to PokerStars VR on the Quest. I've dabbled in it. I haven't really been on it enough.
I didn't do that one. We was going to move on to something else there, wasn't we? Was it going to be Team God?
Yes. What was it got? And introducing from Salsa. I can't get a trailer of this game. Just this guy's gameplay.
No.
So
if you got Quest, it's an interesting one. It's Sideload. So this is an alpha build. So it's like pre-beta basically, but it is available on Oculus Sideload. Now, what it does, it takes your play space, and it gives like a complete procedural generated and adapts your play space into what it's going to present you with. And there is no physical controller like thumb button stuff. You have to actually move. So the bigger the play space you have, the more options it gives to the game, because obviously you can't actually use the thumbstick to turn around. You have to physically turn around. And I just think it's an amazing, amazing idea and concept. I tried it a little.
We was talking about space earlier because we briefly talked about this, because what we do is we get together before the show, make sure all three of us want to talk about what points we want to get across. In this video, this guy actually doesn't look like he moves very much at all. In fact, I'd say we've probably got the same play space, roughly.
Yeah.
Say that again. So
it takes your play space.
Yeah.
And then it goes, right.
It's a room scale game then, is what you're saying.
Here's a room scale that you're in.
Yeah.
And it'll take a portion of your room and then connect it with different corridors. And it'll turn you round different ways so that you're reusing parts of your play space for that. And you see there, you've got outside spaces that you can see from the play space. And then you'll go through little corridors that will switch you around a bit. Depending on how big your play space is, those corridors could be longer, they could be shorter, they could be thinged with cages here and there, and it's just going to make everything in the game fit into your play space.
And this is on Side Quest right now, is that what you're saying?
It's on Side Quest right now, and also somebody was saying only on Quest, but it's not only on Quest as well. You can also download a binary that will work on the Steam VR. So it can be done with your normal headset as well, a PC-based headset, but it can also be done on Quest. Quest is where it's got the most, because you could go to, say, a squash court or something like that, where there's a bigger space available, and you can just lay down a big area, and bam, you've got endless possibilities with a VR game where you will physically walk around everything. No controller thumbsticks needed, because you will be actually going yourself.
Yeah, cool, man.
I just like that as an idea, because I've played like bigger space VR, and it's a great thing, and it fits for the Quest brilliantly. It's a great use of its technology.
Well, it's like what Adrenaline was saying. Star Shelter doesn't have turn option. My cable gets so tangled. So obviously, when you're on the Quest, you're not going to have that issue, man. It's just, and that is the beauty of the Quest. There's no getting away from it. And in fact, I still struggle to remember that I haven't got a face forward when I'm playing a VR game. It's a constant. I get people in the live chat going, "Why are you turning like with thumbsticks, basically?" And I'm like, I've been trained to do this for like a year and a half. I've trained myself to do it, to face. And it's only when the game, like this one, right, if it takes away the option to turn on the thumbsticks, like Vader Immortal does, when you choose to, you can either have Vader Immortal in 180 or 360, especially on the Rift, obviously, because of sensors. I think on the Quest, there's no option. It's just 360 anyway, obviously, because you can do it.
You can still use thumbsticks on Quest.
Sorry?
You can still use thumbsticks on Quest.
Oh, right. Well, I didn't know that. I was literally like doing the training, and I was turning round because it was quicker as well, I think, than
on the shooting part. It's definitely quicker, but you can still use thumbs.
I just want to bring up one thing. Fez69's just asked, how do you sideload in one easy answer? He's asking it to Salsa, but I just want to quickly point out that I actually used Chris's guide to do side quest. So I'd actually recommend going onto Chris's channel, finding his I think it was his Quake video.
Oh, you're on about me.
Sorry, man. He's asked Salsa, but I just wanted to give Chris a shout out because, to be honest, I followed his video and I found it really good. I don't know if Salsa, if you've done a video as well about.
I haven't. But if people want to look at some of my other content, that's great, because I need to get to that 1K subscribers still. But
I'm sure you will, man.
What do you mean you're not at 1K? Come on, guys, get him up to 1K, please.
I'm not at 1K. but that's what happens. But yeah, no, Chris is. I think we'll have a good, nice, understandable explanation there.
Yeah, to be fair, I am quite not. I'm all right with tech. I'm okay. So what happens is when I see something, what it was, right? I was looking down how to do it, loading side quests and stuff, and I was like, I'm not getting some of this. And when I finally got it, I thought, and I've done this at work as well when I've learned certain things. I thought I can bloody make a guide easier than this that I can understand. So that's what I tried to do. So the one I've put in the chat here is to do the latest version of SideQuest and install Crisis VR or V Brigade, whatever you want to call it. That was one of the easier ones. But there is one to Quake, which I think is really good on the Quest. I love Quake, and I really hope.
Yeah. The side quest program now, when you download it and stuff like that, it's got so easy. So once you've actually got the different things done, it's there. You go, oh, I want to put this into, and you just press the install, hook your thing up, and
I'll tell you what else, guys, as content creators as well. If anyone is trying to take videos on a Quest, record them, and then you try and take them off the headset to put on your computer, sometimes you don't get any time. It'll say there's a certain amount of information, but it'll just say 0 time, so the video won't play. And you're just like basically copying across nothing, pretty much like an empty MP4 file. If you use SideQuest, it does it straight away, dead easy. So transferring files is very easy with SideQuest as well.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt again, but again, Fez just asked another question. Will it? I assume he's asking, will it invalidate your warranty?
It won't invalidate
your
warranty. It's basically what developers do. So you do have to apply very quickly. Basically, go to a link that's on Oculus's website and say, "Hey, yeah, I want to register as a developer. I'm a developer. Here's the emails." They send you an email. Done that bit, and that's basically what you're doing. You're basically turning the developer mode on your Quest on. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is now on SideQuest, by what Sal's saying. I haven't checked it out myself. If anyone wants me to make a video on this, let me know in the Discord or whatever you want to do. If you want to look us up in Discord, DJ did put the link in the chat earlier. Hopefully he's still around and he can do that again. It's an easy way for us all to communicate, and like South is there as well. So and Nat, I'm assuming I don't know if he's on Discord or not. Are you on Discord?
I've got Discord.
Yeah, so if you're looking for information or any technical information as well, you can just at us, and hopefully if we get time in our crazy schedules, we can be able to help you out. So, South, are you happy? You've explained that. And,
yeah, that's I just think it's a really cool concept. I think it'll be a nice one to play.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Because you got to, as I said, like with Vader and stuff, when you start turning round in VR, it's a whole nother level. Like
it is, yeah. And people can try this for free.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, man. Our Grambo, but he's put controversially, but how long before Facebook pushes the kibosh on side loading?
So it won't.
I don't think they can with that, can they?
It's an Android thing. The system's based on Android, and that's where the whole thing comes along. They'd also have some rather uproars from developers having problems developing. So,
yeah. So there you go. But I mean, unless there's anything anyone else wants to bring up, let me just check. How are we looking on the Discord questions, South? If you've got a second, if you're over there.
It's more of the what people kind of really want, actually. So we had Destruction Derby 2, G-Police, which is one that I would have really liked, because I was shocked that series didn't go further than it did.
This is going back to DJ, who actually made this whole question happen in our discussion earlier of what games you would like to be put into VR.
The other one is, if you've got an OGP PS4 at the moment and you've just bought a PSVR, do you think it's worth getting a PS4 Pro?
I'll let you answer this one. I'm going to give my answer, but I know mine straight.
My answer is actually based on what do you think of your disposable income. If you go, I've actually got an amount of disposable income where you don't care either way, then yeah, sure, why not? If your answer is actually I like to kind of take care of or get something else somewhere else, then I think you might be better off waiting for a PS5.
Would you reckon that?
My answer has definitely changed from what it would have been, say, a year or a year and a half ago. Kind of like what Salsa was saying with disposable income. I think if you have an original PS4 and you don't have a lot of money, no. I would say no. If you have a lot of disposable income and it's because obviously you'll most probably trade in your original PS4, but you're not going to get a lot of money for it. And there are other benefits to the PS4 Pro in playing standard games as well.
Yeah.
But the thing I think that does change my answer, because I would have most probably said, yeah, go ahead, because there are benefits to a PS4 Pro, especially on PlayStation VR. The thing where I would say it changes now is in just a little over a year and a half, we got PS5. Yeah. So if you've already got a PS4 standard, I'd say hold on. We already know every PS4 game will work on the PS5. PSVR will work on the PS5. Yeah. It will most probably all be upgraded, so it looks a lot better than it does on PS4 Pro anyway. So if you've got an original PS4 now, I would most probably say no. Wait the year and a half.
So I'm going to go the opposite, and I'm going to say yes. I would, because I remember the first time that I went into Superhot and I saw the difference. And there was only a couple of games, because as soon as I got VR, I was like, right, I'm going to upgrade the lot. That's what I wanted to do, but obviously I didn't have the finances to do it straight away. So it was PlayStation VR Worlds. I noticed a massive change. And Superhot, huge. Like, I remember thinking, this is the perfect game. But on the Pro, like, I just remember thinking, I wish it wasn't as blurry, or it wasn't as... Because the graphics looked like they should have been sharp and very punchy, sort of thing. And then with the Pro, it got the update, and I saw the difference, and I thought it was massive. But just to let you know, so in England, in CEX, an unboxed PlayStation, just a standard PlayStation 4 500 gig model, you can get £106 for. So then it'll only go up from there in condition and being boxed. Like there was one here, box one, 129. And then you can buy a Pro for 260. So what are you looking at there? So you're looking at £130 for the Pro. So then what I think, depending on the amount of games you've got as well, how big is your library? If you've only just got into PlayStation VR, is it worth it? I don't know. It just depends how much you love it, man. Like, if you were like me, I bought every game every time, like pretty much every week. And as I said, before I started doing this, I had like 70 odd games already downloaded. So Pro to me was a no-brainer. But yeah, once again, it's a very individual question. But I was letting you know that you can nigh on scratch off half the cost of the Pro by trading in your OG. So, but for me, from a graphical point of view, I would say it is a yes. And it was great fun to be involved in the Ultra Wings. Do you remember when Ultra Wings was going through their testing phase?
I love Ultra Wings.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Like Ultra Wings, like the developer was putting out an update every other day, testing out what was better. I think we even went to because the PSVR is capable of 120 hertz. I think he was trying that, like the fastest refresh rate you could get, but lowering other things. And then he was like putting it to 90, but then up in bits, trying to find that sweet bit.
Balance, yeah. It was trying to find
but the best bit was he had the whole community involved, or whoever wanted to be involved was able to get hold of him on Discord and go, I like this, I don't like that. And eventually we ended up with a fantastic Pro version of Ultra Wings. So that was pretty cool. Oh my God! Is he? That's cool.
Yeah, so I've just got my 700th subscriber, which, as it turns out, was Madman in Black.
Madman in Black. He knows what he's doing. He's so solid in the community. He's unreal.
He's been everywhere, everybody's channels, chatting away, doing all those sorts of things. You've got a lot of people out there who are glue in the community that all hold us together at different points, which is awesome.
Absolutely. So, yeah, just to quickly, once again, I think we're happy. Are we happy, guys? Nat's turned his light on, which sort of means we're going into night shift mode. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys are happy, is there any other you want to bring up or discussions? You cool?
No, I mean, the only thing we haven't discussed, and we did discuss it last week, is No Man's Sky, the Beyond update, which is obviously the big VR update and a brand new revamp of the multiplayer, has literally just passed certification in Australia, PG certified. Now, admittedly, that could be anything from a week to 2 months that it comes out. But to be honest, if they've got it in for certification, they are very close to being done, or they are done on it. Yeah. So I think, say, No Man's Sky will definitely be getting its update very soon, and then most of our lives will be over as we play that game.
There was a tweet from Mr. No Man's Sky himself last week about a big update, which is still in the next realm, I thought.
Right.
But a lot of people going, "Oh, is that it? Is that it?" And I was sort of like, "That's not it," because it didn't mention Beyond. Because Beyond is the one to bring VR. So there is a imminent update to No Man's Sky that's coming the end of this month, I think.
Right.
About the 20-something or odd, basically. But that is not, I believe, the one that will bring VR. I think that's something else. So, yeah.
You never know.
Dude. No, that's it, man. I was just
especially when it comes to an update.
So, Sals, did you put your channel in the chat? Yeah, in case people are looking for you.
I didn't. I will put that in.
I'm just gonna put in. I'm just gonna put in Nats as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. So, just another thank you to all the patrons of the channel. You make a fantastic difference to my life. You make this time and everything that I do pretty much easier and just make everything better. So thank you ever so much for that. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing to Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming and Salsa Ketchup. We really appreciate that. And looking forward to next week. Not sure what we're playing. I think Telefrag is the 19th, which, what is that, a Friday?
Telefrag is a big one.
Yeah, what was the game we were talking about earlier? It's coming on the Quest. We've got NX.
Racket NX.
Racket NX. I don't know. Salsa, you got any plans for what you're playing next week?
I'm hoping to stream Oh My Balls because it should be fun.
What is it doing, man?
I just think it's gonna be so much fun.
What you want to do, mate? You want to stream it, right? Have you seen those rubber bollocks you can get for like Dodge vans and stuff, and they hang them off the axle? You want to get a pair of them balls, hang them outside your shorts. That's what you want to do.
I just think it'll be a good laugh on that one. I'm trying to, so we set that one up. There's a couple of other streams I've got to get onto as well. There's more on Assetto Corsa Competizione, because they had an update last week. I wanted to do stuff yesterday, but I had a massive migraine.
Yeah.
So more racing stuff, basically.
I need to do a bit of racing this week. I've got my bloody steering wheel over there. I've been so busy this week, I haven't managed to get it out.
Both me and Chris we've got to get myself and Chris into a race in the same the racing thing there. And we either do Project 2 Cars 2 again, or we do Race Room. The other one is what did we both get? We both got a copy of another game, which is an older title, which they have put onto
Have you seen Mr. Louverture has put, "You now have me sub twice, Salsa." That's awesome.
Excellent.
He's like hacking it, like getting loads of fake accounts going. Yeah,
Double sub.
yeah, mate.
The double sub.
Double dipping on some salsa.
It's the double length of salsa.
It's the what?
It's the double dip to salsa. It's one dip in the salsa. It's one dip in the ketchup. What can you say?
Did you say length?
No, I don't know. Anyway, it's the game that we both got.
We've got Project Cars. What, on PC?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Shooting, FPS. Bank robbing thing one.
Oh, Payday 2.
Payday 2. We got to do a co-op on that. If anybody else out there, because it's cross-platform as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I've never played it flat or VR. So
no, I haven't either. So we're both in the same. We're both in the same job there, aren't we?
Oh, no worries. All right then, guys. So I think it's time to head out. I hope everyone's enjoyed the show today. Thank you ever so much for being here. As I said earlier, we mega appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully three of us will all be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. BST.
Yeah.
And yeah, good stuff. Let me get over to there. Yeah,
Take care, guys.
See you later, guys. Bye bye. Thank you.